Hey guys, what's up? This is XVelcorn. I'm bringing you guys another commentary, and I want to give you a fair warning or a fair heads up that this is going to be a longer gameplay. And if you have a short attention span, I really suggest not watching this video because this is going to be a Cool Story Bro episode 2, and it's going to be a bit more serious of a commentary. If you're not into watching long commentaries or even long gameplays for that kind of stuff, then don't watch this video. Go watch something else. Not that I'm saying my videos are going to suck or anything. I'm just saying that just for your sake and for my sake, it's just going to be easier. And I don't know. That's all I have to say. So without further ado, here we go. Cool Story Bro, episode 2. So this live commentary is going to be about my family. More predominantly on my mom and my mom's side of the family. I kind of touched base a little bit on my dad and what was going on before, and so this time I'm going to talk about my mom and my feelings towards my mom and all that fun stuff. So to get started, if you watch the Cool Story Bro Tattoo one, then it does touch a lot on my dad, and honestly, I did say that I'm not close with my mom, and I'm not saying that anything has changed because it hasn't. And the reason for not being close with my mom is because 3 years ago she kicked me out of her house, and my dad took me in. And about 4 years ago, my parents got a divorce. And that was really hard, and it really sucked. And I don't know why, but my brother took it a lot better than I did, and for me, I just could not cope with the fact that my parents split up after so many years of marriage, and it hit me really hard. And so I started acting out a lot, and not like doing anything really bad, but I got a lot more angry at really stupid stuff. And when my parents were together, me and my dad always used to fight, and I was really close with my mom, and my mom would always like stick up for me and just make sure that like everything was okay if it needed to be. And so when my parents split up, everything just completely changed, and I don't know why. And I started going to a counselor to try and deal with some of my anger problems, and I didn't go to one, I went to like 3, and none of them really just seemed to work out. And there was this one counselor that I had, and she was just a complete bitch. She was the one that was telling me that it doesn't matter what I'm doing with my life, I'm gonna end up in jail either way. There's this one counselor that I really liked because she always told me that I was right, and that the problems that I was having weren't all my fault, and that my mom and my dad had to step up and had to work on their parental what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, they had to work on their parenting, I guess. And my mom wasn't too big of a fan of her because my mom doesn't like being told that she's wrong. And so we stopped seeing that counselor, and we went to another counselor. And the third counselor that we finally went to was the counselor that my mom liked the most, because he was the one that was telling my mom that she was always right, basically, and that all the problems were my fault. And so when we were sitting in these sessions, it was always, I always brought up about how the other counselor said that stuff wasn't my problem, and it was my parents' problem, and he told me that the other counselor was wrong, and that it wasn't the other problem, that it wasn't my parents' problem, that it was my problem. And I didn't seem to like that too much, And it's not that I like being told that I'm a bad kid or that I'm a terrible person or that shit's always my fault. I don't enjoy being told that everything is my fault. I can take responsibility for my actions if I'm wrong. I can admit that stuff. But what I can't deal with is I can't be told that everything that's happening is my fault when another person told me that it wasn't. And what are you gonna do? So this counselor gave me some exercises to do to calm down with my anger and to help me cope better. And these exercises were really stupid exercises, and they were stuff like throw balls against the wall, go to your room and relax, just really typical cliche counselor advice that it didn't help no matter how many times I try to force myself to do this stuff. And one day I had an absolute explosion on my mom, and I forget what the whole fight was, but she told me to go do one of the exercises and I refused to. And my aunt was over and my dad was at his house and I was at my mom's house, and I told my mom that she can go fuck herself and that some of these exercises are retarded. And since she was really into this counselor, she always made me do all this stuff, and I said no, and she didn't like that, so she told me to get out. So that night I called my dad, and that was the night that I started living with my dad. And if you don't know me too well in person, I hold really big grudges against people, and when somebody tells me to leave, I leave. And later on that night, she called me telling me that she missed me and that she regrets kicking me out, and I told her that she can go fuck herself and that I wasn't coming back. And ever since that, I've been living with my dad. And do I still love my mom? Yeah, I do. But do I approve of the actions that she has taken? No, I don't. This commentary is really big, and there's a lot of parts to it. So I'm not gonna finish everything in this commentary, so I'm gonna do it like a part 2, possibly a part 3. So on this part, I just wanted to give the basic backdraft of what happened and why I got kicked out. And it's possibly a really stupid reason why I got kicked out, but it's just it's my mom. And I've said before that she hasn't been there for 3 years, and it's true. And I mean, I'll still have the fight with my dad, and I'll still have the occasional I don't know, whatever. And it's kind of like one of those things that if you've ever had a really big fight with your parents, and it's kind of like one of those things that you have to leave the situation because you don't want to make it worse. So one night it was really bad like that, and I left and I didn't have a place to go, and I asked my mom to stay with her for a night, and it's pissing rain, it's fucking the worst night, and she told me no, and that was the last straw for me. So ever since then, I've just completely lost respect for her.